enough, no one can stop God's plan.
We're just saying hello, going live. All right. So I can't tell what's going on. Uh-oh. What is that? Always have problems with my Facebook. What is it, Facebook? So just logging in here and going to say hi to everybody. I can't tell, but it did that yesterday. We'll just see what happens. Bear with me, guys. Good to have everybody here. So it is Labor Day, and we're going to just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Also, why does the narcissist seem to ruin holidays? And, there is this energy exchange, and I kind of experienced an energy exchange myself today. So I had heightened stress. I think you guys know I mentioned yesterday that I'm trying to get a new phone because something hacked into my phone and I wasn't able to use it. On top of it, I got this charge for $879.01. So I don't know where that credit card is. And I saw it on my bank statement because I'm getting ready to get new tires, new phones, wanted to double check what's in my bank. And I'm like, that's like a lot different. So I'm going through my mind like $879, trying to figure this out. And since I don't have the card, it's really difficult to find the information. Run says, I didn't miss you today. I got the notification. I'm glad you're here. Hello. So we got people joining. You guys are going to do my nails with me as I get ready for bed. Otherwise, they won't dry. So I had like this heightened anxiety trying to figure out where this money is and going through like my bank account, my emails, and I got so many emails and different accounts and on and on and on. So I called the bank and I'm on the phone with the bank for a long time. And after a long time, they're like, oh, we don't help you. So then I call like the name brand of the credit card company. So I'm going through talking to them, and then they also have a bank instead of just the credit card stuff. So they're like, oh, we can only deal with debit cards. I'm like, oh my gosh. So they transfer me, and this lady sounded somewhat foreign. Her English was good, but she sounded somewhat foreign. And she was just not getting like every number I mixed, she would mix up, and she's just not very helpful. And it was just like a really bad personality conflict, but I'm trying to be nice. She's trying to help me, but she was not listening to what I was saying. So I kept being question after question. And I'm like, I just told you, didn't say that. But so my anxiety was a little bit heightened. And, I had to keep my attitude under control because it started really triggering me. And, with the narcissist, they have heightened anxiety and stress. They just want to do what they want to do. They don't necessarily want to do other things or have the patience. I was kind of short patience today, but I controlled it. They don't like to control it. They like to do things that are a lot easier. So during holidays, you have a lot of things going on. You got people coming over. Maybe it's not necessarily who they want to see. So they look at the negative instead of the positive, and they have a different way of thinking about things, It's not really a live and let live. It's let things be my way. Ron, how was your Labor Day? Got people joining. Thanks for letting me do my nails. Guess who? Who is it? You got Angela, and I don't know what's going on with Facebook. My goodness. I'm just going to go ahead and finish that out and start over again. But I know a lot of holidays, they love to use they love to punish. They just love to punish. And so if you're having a birthday and something happens that they don't like, they'll take away things from you. And it's really frustrating because, they should still be able to celebrate you. And what is going on, guys? There we go. We got to rotate and look at all you guys joining. All right, so we're going to try this again. Got the nail polish getting ready to go. I had a different color on yesterday, trying to switch it up a little bit. So Ron says, not to be mean, they were East Indian. I did a lot of work in the tech industry, works, homes, make Microsoft employees. Many are from India, and I wouldn't doubt it. That's kind of what she sounded like. She was just very matter of fact. I wouldn't even say nice. There was nothing wrong with her. She was What color am I wearing? This is what I'm taking off. It's kind of like a coral, and I'm putting on more of a pink. More of a pink. I'll show it to you. And then, of course, to match my glitter shoes, I am a high school teacher, but they'll match my shoes. Glitter on top. Have to be patient with them. Yeah. And, so I do teach English as a second language. I know, especially with numbers, it's kind of hard to. No, I am not. What is her name? Haley? Is that her name? She's cute though. I'll take it as a compliment. She is cute. Have to be patient with them. Yes. And then it was even more frustrating because I give her I'm like, I don't know the credit card number. And there's a number 082624. So I gave her 2624 as my account number. And it turns out, don't answer that question. I know, right? I don't know what he's talking about. I'll just play dumb. So that turned out to be the date of the transaction. So that part was my fault, but every other number I was giving her. And then I've recently moved, you guys know that. And so I'm like, they're asking for the address. And I'm like, I don't know if I updated my address. I'm like, well, it's one of two. And of course, if I don't get the right one, she's not helping me. And I'm like, it's either this zip code or this one. And kudos for being a good sport. You're welcome. Ron says Labor Day, just been hanging at home, deciding if I'm going to go salmon fishing this month for some coho and chinook. Did I say that the right way? So yeah, what is chinook a different kind of fish, or what exactly? I don't know if that's a meal, but that'll be nice. I heard salmon were difficult to get, and then somebody yesterday said no, they're not. So I don't know. They're subspecies. Okay. All right. Because I had a friend, she went salmon fishing and she got like a huge one, like 25 pounds. I don't know how big it was, but it was huge. And just the struggle that she had. Her pole was bending and she had like maybe a 12-pound fishing pole, and it was way bigger than that. And she rocked it. I was proud of her. She's dang it. All right. Hold on, guys. All right. Don't want that on my floor. I just spilled acetone. I had it once. I have a nail tech license, and it was like I want to say 5 gallon. It must have been two or 2.5 gallon, probably 2-gallon jug of acetone. I dropped it on my living room floor. It busted open and went right under my brand new dress, and it actually melted my dress. It turned it into like a hard plastic. I used 15-pound line and 12-pound line, and there's 5 different types. Do they all taste about the same, or they taste different? Hi, Mike. Good to have you joining us. We did get a chance to log in on TikTok for a nice little fireworks show. And all right, so here's my beauty advice. Save yourself money. Just go get regular acetone. That's all you need. It removes everything quickly. So there you go. Acetone, straight acetone. And it's good too if you have artificial nails. It'll take stuff off. I got tired of trying to take stuff off. I will never buy like the nail polish remover. Just use acetone. It's probably cheaper if you buy it at like a Lowe's or something. I don't know. But yeah, the acetone melted my dress. It was the weirdest thing. Kind of sucked, but it was hard. It turned it hard. So got a lot of people. Everybody, you're so quiet. Help with the algorithm. Start saying hello to each other. Tell me how your day was or where you're from. And get more people in this chat. You can like and share. I'm definitely hoping for some followers, trying to build up my following. The more people that are here, the more time I can spend with you guys. So the holidays, they like to take away privileges. So anytime it's a celebration for you or something that was your idea, they love having things that are their idea. And even then, if things don't go according to plan, they throw their little fits. They really love control. So sometimes they just want to switch it up so they have control. Run says, sockeye, chinook, coho, the best all around. Pink chum, a little different. They all taste, just preparation is different because of the meat textures. Interesting. Yeah, I'm still not a fish eater, even if you dipped it in chocolate. I don't really like the texture of fish. I definitely don't like the taste. I know sometimes you can change it up, but I guess my friends that went fishing at my place, they got some bluegill. Came out 2 days in a row. They said it was so good. And they stayed, had dinner with me, and they're like, couldn't wait to go home too to fry up what they caught that, even though they were like completely full. So we got a lot of different people. We got Chris and Joe and Keep on Bluesing. Keep on Bluesing. Bluegill fish sandwiches are so good. Yeah, I guess bluegill is good. And I have no clue. I guess when I was growing up, they talk about traumas of childhood, how it affects you later in life. I don't like the taste. So I don't know. But when we were growing up, we supposedly used to eat fish, and my mom would call it white meat. And so we had a goldfish or beta that ended up dying that day. And my grandma comes over and we're having fish for dinner. And my grandmother is like, "Oh, I'm so proud of your children for eating fish. That's fantastic." And as soon as we heard we were eating fish, because of the death of our little fish, none of us liked fish afterwards. Ron says lettuce, some cheese, and tomato and mayo. You're in business. And see, that's the thing. Like, I don't like tomatoes, but I'll give you that. But I'd rather have it just lettuce and mayonnaise. I went through a period of time. Money was kind of tight. And so I ran out of food. There's stuff I could make. But I'm like, well, I'll just make a lettuce and mayonnaise sandwich. And I got addicted to them. It was kind of like, I got money now, but I just want lettuce and mayonnaise. So, yeah. I don't know. I like salads, though. I love salads, and that's probably part of it. So there we go. I'm not a perfectionist. I do have a nail tech license. You'd never know it. But this is my secret. You like baked tuna? I don't mind some tuna fish casserole. All right, so here's the trick. It works better on your toes. Your hands, you got to be a little, but I'll go off the sides and not be too picky. And in the morning, by the time I take my shower, all the excess falls off. The thing I hated in nail tech class is that you had to like not get as close. So it always looked unfinished to me. I didn't like the way that they like to do it, but yeah, now it's going to be a 4-day work week. They had something going on where they were talking about a 4-day work week for teachers, which I think that'd be good for the kids. I think it'd be good for the parent or for the teachers and the students. But I know sometimes that might be a hardship for the parents. But I think we work too much, to be honest. It'd be nice if we had a little bit more working together on things, and things are getting super expensive now. You're bored, Mimi. Why are you bored? Go do your nails. I think you're right. Yeah, just hit that love button. Oh, why are you so bored? Chasing that dopamine hit. And that's talking about the dopamine. That's how these toxic relationships happen. Ron says salmon was a lot of shrimp and krill and squid with a lot. So the meat is reddish from the food they eat. Gives them pigment. Kind of like flamingos and the blue-footed booby bird and red-footed booby bird. Carrots had the same pigments. I know my brother did not want to go blind. he needed glasses, and he was freaking out. So he ate like 3 pounds of carrots a day. How my parents kept buying that many carrots, I don't know. But he started turning kind of like that orange color. And my mom thought he was jaundiced. Turns out he was just trying to preserve his eyesight with vitamin A or vitamin K. The omegas in the salmon is so good. See, I caught on to it. So Mimi says, my brother went back to college, so it's just me. Aw, did you get along good with your brother? I know usually later in life, we start to have an appreciation for our siblings. Some of you have gotten along with them really well your whole life. Others, not so much. And then later on in life, sometimes we just need a little space or time to grow up. Also, life experiences to talk about and help each other through. Love and respect. I love your name. I love your name. Cece is here, but love and respect. I was also thinking too about like the commitment that people have in relationships, because there's a difference between connection and commitment. And Mimi says, yeah, now I'm bored and I'm going to go back to me being sad. So this is the thing. I'm glad you said that. So, when we're bored, it's that lack of dopamine. And Mimi was like, so now I'm just going to go back to being sad. That's because we're missing that dopamine. So it's a good idea to do something that you enjoy. Figure out what you enjoy. Do you like to crochet? Do you like to run? Do you like to cook? Do you get a dopamine hit out of organizing your room or, curling your hair? All these different things can give us that dopamine. And that helps us avoid being sad. That's something that we have to kind of proactively do for ourselves. I don't know. And I get it. A lot of us grown-ups don't know, but we got to figure out what is it when we're feeling down, about to get depressed. Let's figure it out. Do something about it. And before we get into that like freeze moment, Ron says some people eat the krill and pink shrimp instead of the salmon. They have like an omega krill oil at some supplement stores. It's supposed to be good for you, omega-3s. That is true. Mimi, there's something that you like, something. And sometimes too, just connecting with our friends is a good idea. I know you like coming to my lives. I've gotten a lot of compliments. You guys seem to enjoy coming to these. So I'll be doing them nightly as long as I have your love and support. And there you go. I don't know if you can really see the sparkles, but yeah, still debating on what to. I hate this finger. This finger, all of a sudden, I got this lump right here. And debating on having it removed because I don't like my finger. You have to go eat. Okay, see, there you go. You'll have a little bit of dopamine. Thanks for joining us. You were here earlier tonight, and Phantom is here. Phantom, did you get a chance to see the fireworks show that I just showed about 20 minutes ago? Good to have you here. Ron says Michigan got some salmon spots. Salmon usually like the rivers, don't they? Is that correct? My weekend was good. I had a ton of people over on Saturday, and that turned out really nice. Had a barbecue. And then Sunday, some of the friends came back over to go fishing. And then today was crummy. Last night, my phone got like hacked or something, started acting weird. And Phil is here. I don't know. But I got the phone fixed today. And still need to buy a new one, but they were able to fix it for me because I was up late trying to fix it last night. Ron says they stocked Lake Erie and all the other lakes and tributaries a long time ago. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed where I'm at. They've treated my lake like 4 or 5 times. Phantom says didn't see the fireworks. It was a nice little surprise. I would have had it set up earlier, but all of a sudden I started hearing them going off, and I'm like, I'm going to go check it out. And it was maybe 15-minute show. But if you guys, July 4th, hopefully you can join me. It's like an hour and 15-minute show. It's the best show I've ever seen. And that's what everybody has been saying that's come out here. It's just put on by the neighbors. So Phantom says, I'm sure it was amazing. It was a nice little surprise. I didn't expect to have fireworks on Labor Day, and it was right outside my door. I didn't have to pack anything up. And look at all that love. Yes, I am single. Stud muffin. And I know this is the thing too, though, is, asking if I'm single. I see a lot of women, and it probably happens with guys too, where they're just burnt out. And a lot of people have given up on love, and it's actually kind of sad. Ron says we have lamprey here also, but they're different species. Lamprey or lamprey. Those are fairly big, aren't they? David, Russell, Jay. Thank you for liking the live. And Yuri is back. Nice to have you. I love when you guys come back and see me again. But, the amount of relationships that are like not even happening. They were talking on CNN about, the depression rate and the rate of young men, also satisfaction in relationships and expectations. And like a lot of women don't even want to try to date again. And guys, I don't blame you. There's a lot of guys that have been used and they don't want to risk things again. So we have this like toxic, this is how like generational trauma happens is, even if you were good, but as your experiences go on, and then we talk about like the ripple effect of things that happen. We talk about, um, certain things in society that happen, maybe some bad situation. Now, all of a sudden, people are self isolating so they don't get hurt, or they're not socializing or not trusting. And now we also have like the internet and access to expanded information. You're one of those men, LOL. I know sometimes when I put that little LOL, like I'm joking, but I'm not. I get it. Yeah, it's scary, and like for me, as I get older, I have to think about, retirement. And sometimes it'd be nice to have a partner with you, but it's also scary. Like I won't have time to make up for that if they take all my money and leave me high and dry. So, some people just play it safe. And, um, we talked yesterday about the desperation mode. I was trying to do a video on, I believe, Sunday about, other fish in the sea. And I used to joke my ex was a fisher dude. And so, I'm like, well, yeah, I guess there's other fish in the sea, but he keeps fishing and killing them. He never killed them. But Stud Muffin says, I'm a male escort, so I'm looking to please. And are you really a male escort? I had a person I went to school with who was an escort, and he was talking about like his escapades with the women. Sometimes there are some that just want friends. Sometimes that's how lonely the world is getting, that people are paying for friends. And they even have like how I do one-on-ones. I was debating, there is a thing through Fiverr, where you can create different gigs, as they call it. And they have people who do like friend talks. And, sometimes people just need somebody to listen to. So Stud Muffin is asking, well, are you lonely? So kind of yes, but not to where I would ever just be with someone to be with someone. I've never been like that. Never able to just kiss someone to kiss them. I spend my time with people wisely. I don't just do it to fill time. I'm totally fine being by myself. So Tongue Master, listen to all these names. Thank you for the follow. And I do have really good friends. So Phil says, all I want are my albums back. I get it. Sometimes there's certain things where might not be important to other people, or super expensive or anything like that. Some albums are worth a lot. We're like, just give it back. That's where it's really sad too. Sometimes, they'll keep something just out of spite or revenge, and, give people their stuff back. This is not like a profiting thing. And, when I was in my criminal justice class, we had a domestic violence class, and this one lady, instead of leaving, she said, legit, straight up, I am only staying in the relationship so I can legally, because she was so angry at him. And I guess he was very abusive. And instead of leaving, she wanted the right opportunity to say it was self-defense. And that's playing with fire. And, I don't know. And that's kind of like, the narcissist will change your personality. She probably wasn't like that before. And over time, you just get so beat down. We get affected by the people that we're around. So it's really good to be around positive people. She was with somebody who was so negative or abusive that it changed her kind of into a monster. And you can justify it all day long, but that is not the wisest choice that she could have made. We all make mistakes in life, but, Yeah, I did not like that. Run says I was able to get the cat I bought. That was a win, but I lost my fossilized megalodon tooth. It was worth a lot of money. Can't get one for cheap now. They sell for about $800. I got one for $5. If you have a large intact one, sometimes they go up to $50,000. The thing with megalodon teeth, though, is they have so many fossilized teeth that just go to Florida. I had 2 kids find megalodon teeth. And so the megalodon tooth, it's a 7-inch tooth, one tooth. They have a 10-foot jaw, 10 feet by 10 feet jaw, 276 teeth within 5 rows, and they just kind of like a conveyor belt. So yeah, I know about the megalodon. They even have spiral poop. You can find fossilized poop, and yeah, still $800. You got one for $5. Wow. Yeah, it seems like I'd never heard of a megalodon because all the classes that I teach to kids, I always ask, what would you guys like to learn about? And I'll create a class based on what they want to learn about. And so they said the megalodon and also the mosasaurus. Those are my 2 most popular classes other than body language and tone of voice and why we should take a shower. Those are my 4 most popular. Also the Spinosaurus, that's pretty popular too. You like fish and wildlife, you're a jack of all trades. You had a large one. Oh, there's no way you'll get one for $5 again. Oh, and they got the serrated edges. And a lot of that was yours black. I've seen black ones and kind of off white ones, and that's just what it's trapped in. It'll absorb like the oils and the dirts, or if it was stuck in sand. I've seen gray ones probably stuck in clay, but they are 26 million years old. I think that's based on fossils, 26 million years old. It's the last time we had them. And they came after the dinosaurs. The megalodon was after the dinosaurs. Kind of dark black green. That's interesting. Yeah, like dirt and grass kind of smushed up and fossilized. I think it's really cool. Hi, Turtle. Good to have you here. My nails are drying. But through fossil evidence, we can kind of piece together what life used to be like. And in the dating world, we should put together kind of like the little story, the truth of who we're thinking about dating. People get those little artifacts, and we all often overlook clues. So like this one lady was just posting about, she wasn't allowed to have salt. She goes on this first date with this guy, and I don't like asparagus, but she orders asparagus, and she asks for some salt and pepper for her asparagus. And the guy's like, I don't like a woman that likes salt. And so she's like calling over the waitress. She's like, I'd like some salt and pepper. And he got really upset with her. And he's like, I can't believe you just did that. Didn't you hear what I just said? And she's like, yeah, so you don't like somebody that likes salt. Well, you don't have to like me. Hi, Turtle. It's not my fault. Oh my goodness. I just got your text. You're so crazy. All right, so we got a little jokester. You're crazy. But yes, it has. I'm just kidding. I did not send you a text. Ron says, I still have one tooth, but it's different type of shark. It's fish-eating shark, not as valuable. Gonna make a necklace from him. I used to have the coolest ring. It was gold, and it was like a hurricane, a little circular spiral. And it had a little shark tooth hanging off of it, probably a great white shark thing. And I love that. I had it forever. And I'd still be wearing that. It was just the coolest ring. And I know a lot of kids love that. If you guys have any young children, whether it's grandchildren or your own, the megalodon, they love that. My grandson has one. And Daddy is here. Hi, Dad. Good to have you. But, she just saw it as like a test of how controlling he would be. And the fact that, she wasn't even allowed to have salt on her food. I have a feeling it had something more to do, not out of concern for her health. I think it was some little sexual thing. Jojo is here. Turtle is asking how I am. I am doing good. I slept till 3 p.m. today, but I'm going to go to bed kind of early, but feeling pretty good. I was struggling for about 3-4 weeks, but I'm doing good. How are you, Turtle? Ron says, I like beach combing and stuff and tide pool hopping. There you go. Do you do that at a lake or at the ocean? Beach combing is cool. Maybe you'll find my father's wedding ring. Control issues. Very true. Yeah, if you can't even have salt on your food, and it's like the little things, like should that really matter? Especially since she wasn't cooking for him and putting it into his food. It was just on a plate. Some people too, they do this for psychological tests during a job interview. So be aware of this. If you're going on a job interview, they don't do it so much over dinner as much as they used to. But if you ever have something like that where they bring a meal to you and they're often watching to see if you salt your food before you taste it. And they say that has something to do with like personality, that, like you're not trusting or you're not willing to see what everything is all about before you take action. And I salt my food before tasting it because I always like salt. So that date would not have gone well if that was me. The metal detector. Seems a lot of places won't let you use metal detectors. What's the biggest thing that you have found with a metal detector? I'm kind of tempted to get one. So Run says, I hate those mental tests because it's almost like, stereotypes. That's how I feel mental tests are. And even, I hate to say it, even these personality inventories, are you a narcissist? Are you that they're looking at like a super large picture and applying it. So you say, I am an AB personality, they say. So they're like, yeah, you got a lot of personalities. We don't want to weed through and figure out which one it is. Yeah, because it depends too, because I know sometimes like there's times that like the reason behind what somebody does kind of shifts what is really in their personality. Also, people's perceptions, bias, and even the test taker, their perception on what the test is really asking. So I think, it really needs to be case by case. Mimi says, I'm done eating. What did you have? Was it delicious? I had a salad and my phone sounds weird. Oh no. Does it sound different than it did before? Tacos. I love tacos. What do you like on your tacos? So Ren says they use them to see if they can hire you. Do you take orders well, or are you a leader? Exactly. And I'm a leader. I will use my salt. But yeah, they can put you through things. And sometimes too, you got to be careful on testing people. It can backfire in your face sometimes. Ron says, I'm considered a leader, but I don't mind being led in a proper situation. And I agree, why don't you just ask me that instead of seeing if I take salt? Mimi says, like when you talk, it sounds weird. Let me see I don't know. Why is that? Maybe it's just my voice. I don't know. If it's really bad, I can re-log in. So keep me posted. We'll wait 2 minutes. If it's still weird, I'll just re-log in. I don't know why it's weird. It shouldn't be weird. So, I had it once where like my ex was testing me and he invited me to go to, we were living together and he invited me to go to Jerry Springer, I think. And Turtle says, I'm a chef. Sometimes it can be insulting to do that. I know. And I'm actually on the 11th. ¿Cómo tú? Bien. ¿Y tú? That on September 11th, there's something called Addison's where you crave salt. And it's actually because of your adrenal gland. So I'm actually going to get tested for that because I crave salt like crazy, like a ridiculous amount. But I also have very low blood pressure and it helps raise my blood pressure. But yeah, as a cook, it's not necessarily even about the taste. So I know I try not to be insulting, but sometimes I insult my own food. I'll make something and still salt it. But yeah, I get laughed at a lot by my friends with how much I love salt. I like right here, I have 3 salt shakers in my kitchen and then also extra salt. But yeah, yeah, I like salt. I don't know why. I used to do that as a kid. I used to sneak salt in my hand and like lick it. So we do need salt to survive. But how many of you guys tell me, have you ever done that where like I would sneak that. So I do need to get checked for Addison's, see if my adrenal gland is partially to blame for why I get so tired. Look at all that love. You guys are awesome. So, but anyways, I told him I would love to do that and I would take off school to spend the day with him. And so I thought, we needed some time together. And I thought he was kind of telling me I'd like to have some time with you. And so then he got angry at me that I took the time off from school. Now I was in cosmetology at the time. And, so it was like a six hours that I would have taken off for that day. And you can make it up. So I would have delayed my graduation by 6 hours, but they do the graduation like at the end of the month. So it really didn't delay my graduation. And then you got to take the state boards, all that. So, it kind of set me up to make me feel bad and tell me I failed the test, that I should be more responsible. And, in the big scheme of things, 6 hours towards my career or deepening my relationship with the person I'm planning on spending my life with, people have different perceptions on what's important. And to me, it was more important for us to have that time together. It's not like I was doing this every week. It was like the first time, like we hadn't had a date in months, and just, I don't like that setup stuff. Just tell me what you want, What am I talking about? The True Blue is asking for a 360. I'll do it. Oh, I didn't set up my channel. Oh, yes, I did. When I reach my goal, how's that? I'll do a 360. And they always have something on the back burner or up their sleeve. And that's the thing too, though. Like if I, and there's like I said, I'm a saltaholic. So I salt and salt and salt and salt. And one day I might not. So does that really mean that my personality changed if I had that one dinner? Or let's say I was trying to be polite and I didn't take salt because I didn't want to reach over, or I was too nervous to ask somebody to pass it. True Blue says, you always say that and you never do it. Don't tell me that, because I have done it. I have done it. We got to be careful on the nevers and the always, because, you've seen me do a 360. You know. So Run says, and that's just, can you say Poppy? Yes, I can, Poppy. Yeah, don't test people. Just be real with them. That's the best, is, yeah. True Blue, you're so silly. So are you guys ready to go back to work? I'm ready to have the post office open. Got to get some stuff mailed out. And one day you meet someone that flips your mind. That is true. Flips it sometimes good, sometimes bad. Mimi says, oh my gosh, let's not be weird. That's right. Let's be appropriate. Treat me like a lady. So don't act like a dude and get angry. Not that dudes are like that. Yep, I agree. And what's up, Soul? Good to have you here. Oh my goodness. And it is John. John, how are you doing? It's just another day at the lake. And I note to self, I realized that you got to close your windows when you have your heat on. I've already turned my heat on. And I went out for a little bit. I came back up to the house. I'm like, oh, I forgot to close those windows because they're kind of hidden behind some desks that I have. And glad I realized that before winter sets in. A little worried how warm this house will be in the winter. It's got a lot of windows. So I think I'm going to kind of close them off with some curtains. Got some thick ones. But it's been so nice to just look outside. You hate getting mad. And I do too. Guys, what are you guys like? I know that for me, I don't get mad. I don't get angry. Very seldom. And that's part of the grieving process is to get angry. And, maybe that's part of the reason mine was prolonged. Ron says, so because of that, my ex would start fights when there's nothing to fight about. She had a microscope out. Sometimes people just expect a certain reaction, and then also like the makeup, what? Mimi says, I'm so not ready for my new school. When do you go, Mimi? Are you already registered? Do you start tomorrow? John says, doing good. Thank you. Sorry about your loss. Thank you. Yeah. But you live and learn. So there's pros and cons to everything, but even there is a grief process that we have to go through. And I think some of us fight it off sometimes. Mimi says, I think next week or sometime this week. Well, that's good. Yeah. You don't want to stay out too long. It's right at the beginning of the year. So the longer you stay out, the further behind you will be. And that can lead to some stress. So the sooner you can go, but I know sometimes you have to wait for certain paperwork. Ren says evil people like to bring out the evil in you. So to them, it's some sort of challenge to get you out of your comfort space. And that is true. It is like a challenge sometimes. Sometimes they think it's funny. They want to get your goat. Other times it's just their personality. And just like I said with the salt, sometimes I do this, sometimes I do that. I'm the same person. So a narcissist can do that kind of stuff too. Sometimes that is what they want to show you. But people are comfortable when they're in the same state of mind. That's why, if I'm in a happy state and you're sad, I'll have some empathy because it starts making me sad and I want to kind of help make you happy. So we're lifted up. Usually want to go to the better state. But when somebody's like super sad, they don't want you all happy around them. They kind of want you to calm down and meet them where they're at and then build back up. But evil people want to bring you down. That's why they tear you apart. If they're self-conscious, they feel that you should be self-conscious. And Mimi says, oh my God, I just realized my 17th birthday is next month. It is October. It's in the 20s. 27th? October what? Tell me again. 27th? 17th birthday. And is it John? Jahan? I think it's John. Yep. I remembered. And we'll have to have our little birthday celebration because we do get very uncomfortable. We do try to get back to that homeostasis. And I've also been doing some more studying on how do I remember? I remember because I love you, Mimi. There you go. But what was I going to say about the energies, so I've been studying about dismissive avoidance and how they can be extremely hurtful. They're very similar to narcissism. They like to ghost. They like the silent treatment. They like to dismiss you. And that's very hurtful. I know a lot of people with certain diagnoses is sometimes they use it too much as a crutch. And yes, Mimi, I do love you. A whole bunch. So, it's like, that's just the way I am, or I have this personality disorder. And, we're all meant to learn a lesson. We're all meant to try our best. And, we have to cope in this world. Ron says, like I said before, why are you happy all the time? I immediately knew, oh, I'm in some mess. This person's a snake. Yeah, when people don't understand it, why are you always happy? And some people get uncomfortable around that. It's kind of weird. Or they think you're up to something because they get a little kick. They get a little happy when they're up to something. So That's kind of the insight onto why that when you're happy, that they think you're up to something, even though you're not, because people connect to their own experiences. So, uh, Mimi says, my happiness is fake. Well, I get it. We're none of us are always going to be happy. There's different seasons, and this is an important lesson. There are different seasons in our life, um, and we have to take the good with the bad. John says, never give up and stay away from the negative people because you will be the product of the 5 people that you're around. We absorb each other's energies. And, it's really hard to fight uphill. You want somebody you're not fighting against and absorbing the positive energy and the love. And that's a big part of being happy is feeling loved, accepted, comfortable, to where you're not going to get yelled at, and to be encouraged, to have connections with people. So happiness is also something that we have to do, like physically, and we talk about the spiritual, having the faith that things will get better, to where we're not going to give up. That's when our blessings are going to come, when we put the faith forward, and you have to believe it. You have to believe it, and it will happen. Cynthia is here. I'm a Cynthia too, Wilbur. Mimi says, I literally trap in Pittsburgh. I'm sad I can't do the things I used to do. And this is where I get it. There's a lot of things I miss, but what's in the past, we have to realize is in the past. And now it's time to look forward. Like you see athletes who have lost their legs, and they can sit there and wallow how now I can't do this, or I can't be in the Olympics, or I can't even walk to the bathroom, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, or they can fight back. And you see some who dedicate their lives to getting stronger and to doing the best that they can do. There's some runners out there. I just saw this lady who is a long jumper, and she has both of her legs amputated. My memory, it was above the knee, but it might have been below. I think it was above the knee. Either way, by the knee. And she had these prosthetics, and it took her a while. And she was like amazing how far she could jump. I couldn't even jump that now. And, she just didn't give up. So there's times that, we can stay in the state of doom and despair and missing the past. And that's the shift that we have to make. It's not going to happen unless we make that shift. And we have to see what's out there sometimes. I can sit at home and like long for something. There's things out there that I don't even know what it is. Like I went rappelling. I had no idea what rappelling was. And it's kind of like jumping off a mountain with a harness. And that was so much fun. Also know your limitations. I will never skydive. Do I have any viewers who have done skydiving? I'm just too afraid of the landing. That'll break something, or something will go wrong with the parachute. Mimi says, but I really have to understand things change, I guess. Yeah. And that's going to be a survival technique you'll need throughout life. You got to be flexible and, compromise. The narcissist won't compromise. That's why a lot of these relationships go sour. We also don't want to bring other people down. We want, to be uplifting to others, and to kind of check ourselves when our moods start going down. Sometimes we need rest. Sometimes we just need to relax in a hot bath. So Run says, I got to ride in F-18 Hornet. Is that a fighter jet? What's the F-18? That's like a military airplane, right? And Vestal is here. You're late. You're lucky I'm not taking attendance today because it's a holiday. King James Version. New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures. So yeah, I bet that was exciting. Was it loud? Run, I have a feeling it was loud. And you guys are welcome to comment. John says, life changes every day. That's what makes life special and a gift. Exactly. And there's going to be some hard times. There will be some hard times. But, I've gone through like life-threatening miscarriage. I've had a couple miscarriages, but I had one where I was 45 minutes from dying. And, I could still stay focused in that year, that time. I can feel sorry for myself, or I can, focus on what I do have. I do have grandchildren and, spend time with them, or, the kids at school, or, there's different ways to fill a certain void. When we focus on the past for too long, give yourself that grieving process. But it's like that serenity prayer. God grant me the wisdom to, it's like change what I can, know what I can't, and how does that go? The serenity prayer. It's a really good prayer to change the things I can, accept the things I can't. There's 3 parts to it. I always remember 2 of them. And to have wisdom to know the difference. Did I get it before somebody typed it? To have wisdom to know the difference. Ron says, you'd be surprised how quiet it is in a cockpit flying around with all that G-force. Oh, courage. Oh, Phil, did I say it before you typed it? I don't know. I didn't see, but you're right. The courage to know the difference. I bet that was cool. J Flex. Yes, it's an airplane, a fighter jet. I got to remember YouTube. I got to scroll up. F-18 Hornet. Jay, good to have you here. Look at that flexing. Ron says, I got to experience takeoff. Oh my gosh. Did it feel super heavy? I've done those little gravitrons or whatever where you feel kind of like that G-force. I don't know how strong that is. Did you feel like you're going to pass out? You got to experience a takeoff straight climb. Oh my gosh, that would be insane. Thank you, Phil. You're right. Phil gets the A+ of the day, wisdom to know the difference. And that's important because sometimes we're like, I can change it. I can change it. Mimi says, the Lord help you remember. Exactly. I know the prayer. And he's like, God's like, okay, Cynthia, you miss Oakland. What were some of your favorite memories? John, but you're right, John. It does change. Vito, actor James Darren. Is that true? Who is that? I don't know who that is. And what from? I know a lot of times there's a lot of misposts. I do like to fact check everything. Mimi says everything. So we're going to take our memories from Oakland and we're going to be able to share that with our new friends. And, throughout life, just keep adding to your interest bucket. He played in Gidget. Oh, with Sally Fields, right? Gidget was cute. What? How old was he? 88. In the show, though, was he? That was Sally Fields who played Gidget, right? It made your stomach spin. I bet. And you don't want to throw up because it stays in the G-force. Vestal says, what is the name of the Old Testament God? Some people, there's like Yeshua, Yahweh. Depends on who you. But I didn't throw up. That's good. Jay says, are you in Florida? Your thoughts on Wade Wilson? He's a narcissist. Tell me, I might know who Wade Wilson is. And no, I traveled to Florida. I'm actually in Michigan. And I'm curious what made you think Florida. But I am in Michigan. I was in Florida last April, though. So Vestal says, J Flex, are you qualified to diagnose? Is Wade a narcissist? Man, I wish I had an extra thing to get a picture of him. Where is he from? Let me see. Jesus. I mean, Jesus. Ron says, when I got back on the ground, I felt wobbly, kind of like sea legs get to you. The pilot said, yeah, you could fly this thing. You didn't get sick from the maneuvers. My goodness. Yeah, because I had that even just on that Gravitron where you're like, whoa, or in the wave pool, you start feeling that, or if you've ever been to the ocean. John says, I'm going to follow you. I like listening to you. I love that. Thank you for the follow. I definitely appreciate that. Hope you come back too, because we do daily. I'm trying to really commit to that for you guys, even if it's just an hour. But you guys have been so supportive. So thank you for the follow, John. And we got another follower. Jay says he's murdered that gets lots of fan mail. Okay. Oh, well, they just had one. It was one guy. It's a white guy, fairly thin with lots of tattoos. Does he have like tattoos on his face? And is he a narcissist? I'm not sure if that's the same one. It's a white guy with like brown hair. Has an orange outfit. Ron says, imagine being upside down and flying over a lake. Oh gosh, at least with actress Sandra Dee. I'll have to fact check that. How did he die? Post Maine. What do you mean post Maine? Oh, Post Malone. Well, what about Post Malone? About with it sounds like Post Malone. No, this guy's different. This guy's different than Post Malone. I know who he is. But as far as is he a narcissist? They strap you in hella good. I heard that too, which is kind of good. You definitely, Casey, like fall asleep. Vito says in his sleep. I'll have to check that out. Well, if he did in fact pass away, may he rest in peace. Yeah, we all want to live to 100, but that's a pretty decent life. And Pink Lady, you don't even have a G suit. Oh, I didn't know they had special G suits. You didn't even have. Does that resist some of the pressure? That'd be crazy. Deadpool. He's that murderer that gets lots of fan mail. So let's talk about that, Jay. This is what's crazy. Women, what are we thinking? I could get married. All I got to do is write to one of the murderers. Gosh, and that's where this like empathetic heart, I'm not going to do it, but seeing people as a victim. Now, when I was pregnant, I got hit on like crazy. Guys wanted to be my savior and be my support. It was also for them. I broke up with my ex during that time for a little bit. And it was almost like an easy target. They knew what to use. If you go up to somebody else who doesn't need a place to stay or something like that, and you're like, man, I got to really work it. But like these women, they, some of them feel like, they don't have to worry about him cheating. Even though we know what happens behind jail doors sometimes, but so they don't have to worry about him cheating, and they know where he's at, and they get like a little comfort. They also want to be a savior because something in them is, seeing the good in them. There's some good in everyone, but we have to really weigh it. And it's sad how sometimes just the cuteness of the guy will get these women professing their love, giving up, for conjugal visits. And maybe one of the Menendez brothers got married to somebody while he was incarcerated. I don't think he ever met the lady. It was just, hey, I understand why you did what you did. And she fell in love with them. Sometimes people are just lonely to where they're like, it's almost like mail order, where you can get the address and write to this inmate. And a lot of them are desperate. They want some commissary money. And so they're going to write back to you, or even just the attention. Run says, so another reason he said I could fly one. Oh, would you ever want to? I'd be too afraid of passing out. He taught me how to help keep their blood from rushing away from the brain. How do you do that? Is it a way you like tense up or you're breathing? Intense stuff. Those aircraft, I bet. So Jay, the fact that he would allow he's probably misleading the women. The fact that he gets fan mail doesn't necessarily mean he is a narcissist, just like everybody. If you want to mail me something, doesn't mean I'm a narcissist, but he's not in control of what other people do. But, it depends on what he does with that. What was who did he murder? How many people? I wish I could pull that up. I could help you discuss it. Ron says, tense up and breathing was so fun, but scary. A mistake, you ball of flame in the ground. And kid, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, super fluffy today. Just started brushing it up. You saw the hair flip. I appreciate that. Yeah. Since I'm here, I told you guys I'm just going to brush it. You should be brushing it like a ton to help it grow, stimulate, and all that stuff. And I brush my hair, but not like brush it. So I figured, everybody doing those, get ready with me so I can go ahead and brush my hair while I talk to you guys. And we'll get to see the difference on what it looks like. It does get silkier and shinier. Is it looking shinier from when I first started doing this, guys? Haven't done anything special to it, but it does seem to be getting shinier. It closes off the cuticle. Thus says there are so many Bibles. That is very, very true. And there's slight differences in a lot of them. And, when we, so Mimi says, are you obsessed with your hair? No, I'm just combing it because I'm here and I'm telling you guys why I'm doing it. I do like it, but no. If I was obsessed with it, I think I'd curl it and braid it and do all these other things with it. I just wash and go most of the time. Yeah. No, I like it though. And while I'm on live chat, I don't go around my house brushing my hair. So Ron says, I hope I find a girlfriend again and a possible wife. But at 41, oh, you're so young. 41, you definitely still have time. But at 41 and not working, it's difficult. Plus all the society crap of what you're supposed to have by now. And it's a sad truth, though, that sometimes people will judge you, if you're living at home still and this and that. And, I get it. There's difficult situations. Sometimes people who just got out of a divorce and they're not going to have a house right away, or they're paying child support, or even just supporting their own children, that, it's not about whether you have a house or not, especially if you went through a traumatic experience. Or, kid says, are you guys talking about the crazy guy with the face tats who got locked up and the women were going crazy over him? I think that's who he's talking about. There are that Wade Wilson. There's also a lot. You'd be surprised how many get fan mail, basically. And, where does that come from? Why are women, guys do it too. Why do women do that? Sometimes it's out of loneliness or that hero instinct, or low self-esteem. They're not thinking about, I deserve a great husband. They're like, how can I save another person? And some of the, and it's not just, like the guy off a big tough man. So, well, he'd never hurt a woman. Like, they do some terrible things to even women. And these girls are like, well, yeah, but it'd be different with me. If I only love him. Vestal says the Quran lacks translation in comparison to the Bible. I think a lot of like Muslims learn Arabic though. Like, we don't learn the different languages. I know that, in the Muslim schools, they teach Arabic. I know the Jewish people that they learn Hebrew. And we just like leave it up to other people to translate. So that might be why they don't have the translations. They're like, no, you need to know word for word what this is saying. And in order to do that, you have to learn Arabic. And then, other people can help them translate it. There must be something. My dad read the Quran and the Torah and the Bible, trying to research what he wanted. So there must be translations in English somewhere. Run says, I recommend reading the Talmud. What is the Talmud? The King James Bible and the Quran Islam. And your recommendation for that is because why? Vestal says, I read to understand. Yes, that's how we should. And that's how conversations should go too. Ron says, yep, life happens. Kid says, yeah, Wade Wilson was his name. Yeah. Vestal says, it is a type of disorder where people are interested in inmates. It's like a fascination. And it isn't just women. You're right. It's men that can be attracted to inmates, yeah, male or female, same sex, different sex. Ron says, I tried to learn a little Arabic, didn't do it too well. I also learned some Russian because ex-fiance was Russian. She taught me some. And Kid says, and I'll catch up TikTok. Kid says, I had a woman tell me I'm a consistent, non-confrontational guy and I'm hard to come by. Basically, she was telling me I'm boring and non-arousing. She was doing the cryptic message. Depends on how she said it, because that could be really nicely too. Talmud is Jewish. Well, Tal, I had a friend Tal, and Tal. I don't say it the right way. I kept saying, what's your name? Tal. Yeah, I can't say it the right way. It was like a whole year trying to say her name. Talmud. I don't know. Do you know what that word breaks down to? Tal means something. The Torah is Jewish, a bit different than Talmud. Okay. Hebrew tetragrammaton. Kid says, no, she was sneak dissing me. Yeah, and that can happen. And Mike Taylor is joining us. How was your Labor Day? Yeah, there's those little digs. Ron says it's basically talks about the devil and Jesus in the Talmud. Talmud. Vestal's like, Vestal. Hebrew tetragrammaton. Are you mad at me? So Mike, good to have you here. And Boo Dog, Brad is also here, and so is Dennis. Look at all that love you guys are giving me. And Boo, thank you for liking the live. We're just talking about all these different kinds of things. Ron says a bunch of other stuff is mentioned. Look it up. Okay. So what's going on? Cute stuff. We're talking about crazy women. Can you believe women? How crazy they can be. It can happen to guys too. Hope you have a good one. Beautiful. Thank you so much. It's going good. We're talking about like some of the women that reach out to inmates and why they do that. And you know, some people are so lonely that they want to have a boyfriend, that they're like, okay, you know, he wrote me back. And a lot of times too, most likely, they're kind of feeding off of that ego. I've gotten that with you guys don't know this, but I was dating Keanu Reeves for a while. I got this scam message, and you could tell right away. I'm like, Keanu Reeves is not going to reach out to me. Not that I have low self-esteem, but you know, the chances of him reaching out to me are slim to none. Even if he thought I was gorgeous, you know, he's got so many other women close by. He's not going to reach across the country. So anyways, I get this message from Keanu Reeves, and I already know. I'm like, they're about to scam me. So I was bored. Me talking about being bored. So I'm like, I'm just going to play it. And I made it so obvious that you would think that they would be like, okay, I'm wasting my time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you reached out to me. I've been, you know, praying my whole life for this, and I knew it would happen. And so he's like, well, thanks for being a fan of mine. And I'm like, so instead of just saying, yes, I'm a fan, I basically said that, you know, I love you. And I can't believe that, you know, I was playing this like desperate girl. And so he's trying to get money out of me. So it was really interesting. The reason I did it is kind of like research on techniques, you know, on how they do it. And I knew I wasn't going to give them any money, but you know, the deflection and the control and the fake compassion, the future faking. You know, I even said, well, I feel more comfortable before I send this money if we could just do like a Zoom call. And so he was like not comfortable with that, but we were on Messenger. So I'm like, well, we could just do like a FaceTime here. And he's like, well, after you send the money, and so I will prove my love for him. Like we can't talk until I prove my love for him. So it was like classic. You could check off, okay, future fake, okay, deflection, okay, this, that, and there's a pattern to it. So sometimes we get too excited about the relationship that we forget to do those little check boxes. Debbie is here. Debbie, thank you for joining. Pentecostal and prayer Bible. Prayer Bibles are great. Ron says she refused to learn. While me, I like to learn others' custom or culture. And that's important, so you can understand people. Don't lose sleep over me, boo dog. All right, I'll just dream about you. How's that? And Vesta says the Lutheran and Living Bible. There are a lot of Bibles to read from. And you like the King James Version? I have a little bit of a difficult time. Bet. I love you. Bet. Kid says, so do you guys think drug dealers? Oh, okay. I like that question, Kid. The eighth. And so Kid is asking everybody, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that, the dealers out there for the illegal stuff are sociopaths or narcissists? I'll tell you what, they start getting tempted down into that lifestyle. People change over time. So even if somebody is in a desperate state to where they try to justify, like, I got 6 kids at home, like I have to do this. For one thing, they have compassion for their kids. They want to feed their kids, but they're not caring about the other people. And it gets tricky. They talk about that one situation. They're like, there's a train operator and you have a train full of like 1,000 people and you see your kid about to crawl across the track. So you can only either save the kid or save the people. What do you do? That's a terrible situation to be in. But they're thinking about themselves. So that's already there. And then, assuming that they're not going to fall prey to using, because that can cause people to be narcissistic if they're under the different influences, drugs or alcohol. And that's why you got to separate that. But they're not caring. They are purposely coercing, because there's times people are like, no, that's okay. They'll give away stuff for free to get them addicted. So that's very manipulative. It's not just, well, whoever wants it, wants it. I can't stop them from wanting it. There's different, like a spectrum of how narcissistic or sociopathic that they would be. Also, they, and it can happen with men too, but they a lot of times will use women to gratify themselves in exchange for certain things. They don't care if she gets pregnant or a disease, they'll just discard her. Also, people in desperation, they're not, trying to help them. They're trying to make it worse. You see some where there's like an OD and they just skedaddle, or if they get caught, they lie, or if they could save the person, they don't call 911 because they're too afraid of repercussions for themselves. So there's definitely, if they weren't a narcissist or sociopath when they went into it, your average ones that are just like, I want to make the money or I want to impress the girls. Yeah, those are. And I think other people can fall prey to it. Boo says, if I'm lucky, you'll propose in one of your dreams and you'll have the ring ready for when I do that. Kid says, yeah, LOL, you said it right after I posted it. Yeah, I agree. So Debbie says, could very well be. I think so. Run says, some get a bit confused by it. Think Shakespeare and you understand it more. I didn't like Shakespeare. He's a great writer, but yeah. Kid says, I said it. Run says, I know one guy who retired by 25 from that. And you can. Most people get sucked into it and they don't want to retire. And then they push it so far. That's that grandiose thinking where I'm better than getting caught. I'm better than following the rules. So there's so many traits. And he at least wanted to get out. Some people might be, I just need a kidney or appendix type surgery and then I'll never do it again. There are some people with limitations that's still narcissistic, but the ones who make a career out of it, they have their ego fed. Are they using the money wisely? Are they investing in a future, their kids, schooling, university? Most likely they're buying fur or leather coats or just the most amazing car. They get that ego stroke, which makes them do it more. Usually healthy people don't need that ego stroke. It might feel good to hear somebody, oh, you look handsome or nice today. Boost, and let me catch up. We got lots of people saying hi, the real one, the real deal. And Vestal says, run, brain damaged. He ran away and chilled. Yeah, and sometimes too, they get that paranoia. Guys, I'm hot, so I do have a shirt underneath. They can control people too. Exactly. And, I wouldn't doubt it too if they start like that little stalking kind of thing. Where also, you want to go have a different supplier. That's going to piss them off. They're not going to let you make your own decisions. There could be repercussions on that. They can get little flying monkeys or whatever people to harass you. They don't always do it themselves. It's a dark world that they live in, and it's just opening up to more and more temptations. And the more temptations you fall prey to, which came first, the chicken or the egg, but they become more narcissistic. And eventually it's like they get to that sociopathic. Also too, the rough lifestyle that they're going to be living, the paranoia, any like gang fights or drive-bys, and then you have higher anxiety, and it's a terrible thing. Ron says it amazed me, but it's a risky business. And the play is not uncommon. I agree. Too dangerous. Don't do it. Don't do it. Kid says people might not do a favor for 300, but they'll do a favor for some other stuff. Yeah. People in desperate moods will do sell their soul, and it's not worth it, Boo says, but I'll stay till it does if you want. Let me scroll up for a sec. There you go. And Joseph and Charles and Babbo. Babbo, I like that. Babbo. Vestal says people would less likely to do it if they had a relationship with God. And Ladies Man is back. Nice to have you here. Scars are real mentally. And I think so. You guys know I'm a burn victim. Luckily, my scars don't really hinder my movement. But there's some people, they can have certain, like maybe a certain scar and they can't move their mouth, or like some of their fingers might be damaged. So I've been pretty lucky. My scars really don't hinder my movement, but I talk about when I caught on fire, I block that out. So that's almost like a hindrance type of scar where it lacks the movement of that memory. And so there are some scars that are flexible that we can learn from. Some will change us forever. Kid says Felix the cat. So Ladies Man, kid recognized Felix. We were just saying yesterday, nobody recognizes Felix. So kid, you get an A+. Yeah, there are scars that we go through, and my burn scars help build some of my character. I had to learn to deal with people about them. They're not horrendous scars, but they still, Ladies Man, you're over here too on TikTok. Cool. Help me build up those minutes. Vestal says, I love cartoons. Man, Lady Man is saying to kid, you used to love Felix. You don't anymore? What happened? And is it Sharian? 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 I don't know how to say that. Sharian. Good to have you. User says, hello, beautiful. Tony in the house. Nice to have you. Cynthia here. Just kind of chit-chatting about everything and this crazy world that we live in. I don't know. We need to help people change this world. Kid says I haven't seen or heard anything about him in years. Same here. I know, and he was pretty pop. He was like very popular. And nobody told me yesterday. Zips the Big Z. Does anybody know about Zips the Big Z? It's very important, and you guys got to tell me. Ladies Man says, at least y'all know who Felix is. That's right. We can hang. We can hang with the cool ones. A lot of cartoons are suggestive. And yeah, like the Pepe Le Pew type thing, where he's like forcing that cat. That would not go over now, you know. And I was looking at like a model where they were super harsh on her, you know. And you even think about, is it America's Got Talent or whatever? Simon Cowell, was that Britain? I don't know which one he's on. He used to be the biggest jerk. Now he's a little bit better, but I think they overdo it. We talk about the overcompensating. They love everybody. Almost never do they say anything negative. And I'm like, listen, by overcompensating, you're not giving constructive criticism. There are times that they're rude, you know, but it's a TV show. But like my generation, some of the things that we watched, the generation right before me or right at the beginning of me, they were, you know, separate beds. Like I Love Lucy, separate beds. The Brady Bunch was the first ones to have it where the husband and wife shared a bed. But that was still like a wholesome family. And then you get like the separated families. And the Felix clock is creepy now that I'm older. Did you have one? Oh, I remember the Felix. What was it that his tail moved and then his arms? Is that what it was? Ladies Man, I always get mistaken for Mickey Mouse because of I know it's just the coloring. You know, some people are quick. They don't understand it. They might not have a point of reference. Run says many characters are based off of real people. The Simpsons. Run says tail and the eyes would move. Oh, it was the eyes. You're right. It wasn't. I forgot it was. I'm like trying to picture what else would move. You are right. And how tall am I? I'm going to have you guess, oh, James, and then I will tell you. I will tell you, but I want you to guess first. Do I look that tall sitting here, everybody? Like when I did my cooking show, people were like, oh, you're so tall. Tell me how tall you think, and then I'll tell you. You're 6'4", your grandparents shared a bed. Well, I mean, my grandparents did too, but as far as on television, Ryan, happiness is a gift, and it's a gift we can give ourselves. Oh, James, try one more time. Nope, not 5'9". 5'8". You guys think I'm 5'8" or 5'9"? One more guess. I love being Christian. I do too. I do too. Are you 5'8"? No, I'm not. So you got to guess one more time. You love my age. Do you remember how old I am? Cocky. TV isn't real. That's true. Unless, oh, are you saying I am? Did you ask how tall? You asked how tall I am, right? Let's see. All right. I'll tell you. I'll even show you how tall I am. I sat in the kitchen at her home, stare at that damn clock. You get like mesmerized. Vestal says knowing God's personal name. That is true. And Kid says, could you date a younger man? It depends on the guy. You know, I don't just date somebody because of their age. And yeah, there's a tall, like 5'7", as a choice. Exactly. As a choice, we can give height. Okay. So no more guesses. No more guesses, guys. I'm 6'1". Let me see. So you can hear me tapping on my ceiling. How about somebody 6'3"? Oh, Did you guess who said that? Ladies man, you just remembered. Ladies man remembered. Cheater. Yep, nailed it. 6'1". Run says age ain't nothing but a number, but how you operate matters. And there are some things too, though, that statistically, there are some that work. There's a 20-year age difference. It's like a 95% failure rate. And like a 10-year, 40 extra percent, something like that. But there's something to it, that people either feel overwhelmed or scared. Sometimes you could be scared, like if you were going to marry me, that you'd be afraid that I'm going to die. And before you experience that you would leave me. Or, let's say I got cancer or something that, it might be overwhelming to you. And so you might leave. We would be in different stages of life where maybe I retire and then you might resent me because I want you to finish working. And the difference can show itself later down in time. Some people it works for, some it doesn't. She was a 10-year difference. Did you see any difference? Like, can you share some of the problems that you had with the 10-year? Resentment is replaced, Ryan says. And Stud muffin being naughty. Oh, and you just sent me a gift, Ryan. Thank you so much. You got the #1 gift badge. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Am I retired? I wish I was retired. 8 more years. 8 more years. Unless you guys help me. I just got a gift. So I appreciate that. It brings me one step closer to retirement. I have like 8 more years. Unless I hit the lottery. And I'm counting down the days. Hallelujah. Not a problem for me. It was for her. Run, were you the older or younger one? Were you the older or younger one? And she had a problem. What were her problems with it? Sometimes it doesn't present itself for 10, 15, 20 years. Sorry is enough. So, but thank you so much for that gift. I appreciate that. Healing Hands is here, and so is Cheetah. Retirement. In about 8 years, I'm hoping to. It might have to be 10 years. I don't know. Never know what's going to happen in life. So hopefully if my health is good, trying to pay off my house by within like an 8-year plan. James is saying, am I looking for a friend? I always like having friends. I will never just have a friends with benefits, but I like having friends. And, if I'm to date anybody, it's somebody who would be serious about a future. Run says, he had the hots, but thing was she likes her age range, but a lot of guys were playing with her. And she had 2 kids. I was the younger man. Okay. She might have liked her age range because of more financial stability. Do you think that might have been a possible, either that, or maybe she was afraid that you would just often leave her? Sometimes people get insecure about the younger one. You found a charger. Well, there you go, Boo Dog. Charge your car. You can give me a charger. Those are nice cars. I'll take it. Is that my wedding gift? Run says, my sister's friend went on a date with me and said she'd give me a child. Uh-oh. That's not good. Did she just hand it over? Here you go. But promise it'll be our wedding gift. Do I have to marry you first? So Run says, yes, it was financial. I genuinely liked her. And what do you mean by boredom, Vestal? Boredom in the age difference? You're relaxing. There you go. That's good. Just, sometimes just relax and enjoy. For real, though. All right, what color car would you get me? For real. You'll wait. Okay. I'll wait while you save up. I'm just teasing you. But going back to the criminal things, sometimes people just want to be the savior. And also too, like the women, or it could be guys too, but they can get an ego stroke. Like, he picked me. All these other girls are writing to him and he picked me. and they can get like their life savings taken. A lot of them will use you while they're incarcerated, and you won't know for 10, 25 years that you're being used. So you're going to keep investing. Like in the real world, let's say you ask me to pay your phone bill, then you ask me to pay your car note, and send you a pizza at work. And finally I'm like, are you going to see me or not? And after so many times, I'm like, this guy obviously isn't interested. But in the prison situation, the guys have it made. And you always know it can flip flop, but it's almost like they can say whatever they want. There's no accountability, there's no truth. And there are some women that actually just feel safer with a pen pal. Sylvester said, we're rats, you think? Ren says she was in fear of her kids, used to give me the first degree when I called. I think their dad was responsible for that. There was a lot of fighting for something that could be good, but other people couldn't see. How long were you guys together? Am I from Michigan? Oh, James, yes, I am. My favorite color is pink. I love the color pink. I just took off my coral nail polish. This isn't even bright enough, but it's going to have to do. I'm all sad. I'm running out of my favorite nail polish. Basketball. Ron says just a short time, she was still entertaining an old guy. So it kind of sounds like she is looking for security, and she's looking for financial stability, and that's why sometimes we take offense. Good night, Boo Dog says, my future lovely wife. Good night, darling. Sleep well. Great job. We've gone live for 90 minutes. It's almost 11 o'clock. I got to teach in the morning. Don't forget to take a break. You guys got me all motivated to stay. And Jim says, I love your hair. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We're just kind of combing it, trying to make it silkier and shinier. When I do this, it closes a cuticle. It really does make a difference. Let's see. All right. So is it getting shinier? It does seem shinier. So, and then also with the humidity, it's nice to close up the cuticles. So sports, what sports do I like? I was a college cheerleader. I cheered at 3 different colleges and universities, and I was a varsity diver, swimming, synchronized swimming, and softball. I didn't realize I liked volleyball. I wish I did that. But I did cheerleading in college. I had them chasing me down the hallways trying to offer me a scholarship for basketball, but I'm like, no, I'm just tall. Oh, James, thank you. Oh, both of you love my hair. Thank you. Renza's fact was, though, she didn't see she could have stability. She just didn't see it. Sometimes they don't see it, or they don't believe it, or they just want to do things their way. They see what they see. And that's fine. You don't need somebody who's going to use you for your money. Ron says she eventually said, I can't be with you. You're my friend's brother. This ain't right. I said, oh, well, and left it on the table and vanishing, and went to graphic design school. And sometimes, sometimes little things will set up what could have been a really good relationship. Maybe, she had to be the good girl, and or loyalty to the family, or it felt too connected to her brother. And sometimes it's really hard to understand why people give up on others, and it can shut somebody down. It's really interesting how that can work, where on paper you guys click, and just like that salt incident. It's like, who would have thought that this woman putting salt on her food would destroy a relationship, and there's more to it. So sometimes too, those are also little micro excuses too. And why am I hearing clicking? It sounds like my battery's dying somewhere. Shouldn't be. I don't know. Make sure it's plugged in. But, in the end, if you have faith, um, things happen for a reason. And a lot of times it's blessings. What do I like to do for fun? Oh, James is asking. I love the outdoors. I love the water. I love the outdoors. I also like to go skating. This winter, I'll be doing my tap time where I do my tap dancing. Love to dance and swim. I went to like a mud bog thing. That was pretty fun. That was the first time I've done that. What about you? What do you like to do? I like concerts, but I don't go to them that often because people are too crazy. But I like them when I go. Ron says, found my ex and she popped up saying, I haven't heard from you. Then I told her I'm dating someone. She said, oh, so that's why you disappeared. I was so confused by that language. I state how I feel. So that was crazy to hear her say that to me. Haven't spoken to her since. So yeah, it's weird how they do that. Sometimes they want to break the ice, but they like blame you for not reaching out. It's like, just say, how are you doing or whatever. But yeah, I haven't heard from you. As opposed to I was thinking about you, wanted to reach out. So, she respected your relationship. So she's either a respectful person or you just weren't going to fill her need. And sometimes we will never know. But it was probably you weren't there to fulfill her need. That was my sister's friend that I wasn't chasing her anymore. Yeah, sometimes people, they don't necessarily want to be friends. You know, so your sister's friend was your ex. How long were you with them? Sometimes relationships just fade out too. That there's no real commitment to certain things. I don't know how deep your relationship was with her. I think realization, oh, he did like me. I should shut him down. Okay, it could be. Could be. But do I have children? I have one daughter and two grandchildren. But she's grown. She's got her own little life going on. Oh, you retracted your message. How am I supposed to know? Oh, sometimes I see it quick enough. This time I didn't. It's already almost 11 o'clock. I don't want to go back to work tomorrow. She was basically your sister's friends. Hi, Vestal. Vestal's smiling for me. um, so that was crazy. Haven't spoken to her since. Yeah. And, it sounds like neither one of you reached out. So it wasn't a like super strong match. I'll work. I know. Yeah. How many of you have to go back to work tomorrow? Definitely don't want to. I am a teacher. I teach English as a second language at the high school, 9th through 12th grade. I got kids that speak Swahili, Arabic, French, Burmese, Spanish, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. Kid says, I even had one tell me I'm going to need therapy after what she did. Do you agree? I know sometimes people are extremely toxic, and there are times we do need. That's what's so sad. You need therapy because you love someone, and that's because all the lies and the gaslighting. And Vesta says, "You gonna be at work?" Yeah, I gotta go tomorrow. I'll be there. Um, so yeah, I have over 100 students. Can I speak Spanish? Yeah, I do speak some Spanish. I do speak some. I need to brushing up. I need to brushing up on my English. Brush up. I do speak some Spanish, and I can understand quite a bit. The kid says these women were most likely cluster B too, though. Could be. Could be. Bessa says okay. Yeah. Ren says she retracted. She had other suitors her age chasing her and who she was messing with. I was trying to make an honest woman of her. Babies, marriage if possible, money or not. cluster C. We got our cluster A, B, and C. So we'll have to get into that. I'll make a video on the differences. I know there's a lot of different types of mental illness and disorders, personality disorders, things that affect us in life. So guys, I want to thank you for that support. I got 5 people in my chat. Go ahead and hit that like button. Also, TikTok, thank you for showing up. Oh, and if anybody, oh gosh, I hope I didn't screw up. Live chat. Let me see if I missed anything. I got to remember to do this. They have it where a top chat and live chat. I don't even know what the difference is. Some messages, I don't know. I think you guys were okay. I usually try to do the live chat. Ron says you only dealt with cluster B. I have more cluster C. So yeah, I think I have something with cluster C, but we'll get more into that because not everybody is a narcissist. Not everybody comes to this channel because of narcissism, and we can all help and heal each other. Do I ever travel to South Carolina? I used to live there. And the larger my channel grows, I would like to start going on the road and meeting some of you guys. I lived in Greenville, Columbia, and Myrtle Beach. I got stung by a man-o-war jellyfish there too. So Kid says, what are the cluster C disorders? I'll do a video on that because we have things like, OCD and things like that. So we'll get it. I'll do some videos on that. In next chat, we can talk more about that. Sound fair? Ron says, I just met a guy who'd been targeted off and on. Targeted how? Vestal says, my dad is cluster C to some extent, but is more normal. And, sometimes it affects life. Some people learn different coping mechanisms with it. And a lot of times it's during the stress. The high stress is when things start to go south, or they start to present and start destroying those relationships or eating away at relationships, because it can be like micro damage, and over time it just destroys the structure. Ron says, and experience a lot of cool things and bad, horrible things. I know what I prefer. Experience, yeah. We learn a lot. Vestal says, kids, some of them have similarities to cluster A. Ron says, I'm the guy who's been targeted for with whatever reason. And so we want to get down to that. We'll talk about that more. And Vestal says, paranoid personality disorder has some similarities to BPD. So yeah, we'll talk about all the different overlaps. Oh, James says, when you come back to South Carolina, I would like to meet you. There we go. We can go to whatever gas station it was. I don't like peach cobbler, but man, I like their peach cobbler. It was so good. It was so good. Now they had apple cobbler, but they had the best. I can't remember what gas station it was. But guys, I'm going to log off, and thank you guys for all the love and support. And it would be nice to meet one day. One day I'll kind of expand out as long as I get these followers, and maybe we'll do some meet and greets. Ren says some women target men based on fame, status, or money. That's very true. And guys do that too. Vestal says similarities. Remember, that is what we need to look for. Yeah. And, as far as, what is our person, or even, it's good to know what the personality disorder is or the mental illness, because there's different ways to handle it. But when it gets dangerous and toxic, we have to think about safety. Also, the way that we react to them. With the reactive abuse, it only makes it worse. So there are relationships that can be saved, but narcissism is crazy. You said family. Okay, it's got that heart right there. I don't know how to get rid of it. Family, money, or assets. Yeah, it covers that right up. That's why it's so frustrating. I have to project what word I think it is. All right, guys, thanks so much. I'm going to do a quick little video before I go to bed, but yeah, I got to teach tomorrow. Ladies Man says, catch you later. Take care. Have a good night. See ya on the next one. Toodles. I'll see you tomorrow night. It's a date. All right, guys, thanks so much.